Today's job is going to be replacing a passenger side view mirror on my son's 2009 Ford Focus. I didn't think I was going to record this, so I started most of this project before I started recording. So just want to throw a few things in here. Here's the finished product. It's back on, looks good. Things you're going to need: 10mm socket wrench. You're going to need a flat tip screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and a T25 star head. First step you're going to do is just pull this off. I've already put it back on, but it just pops right off. It's hard to do with one hand. You can stick a flat tip screwdriver in here and pop it off, and then get to work. I then popped off this part, popped up this with a screwdriver up under here, just pop it off, unhook the wiring harness, unscrewed this, take that off because you can take off the door panel, and the door panel comes off with a Phillips screwdriver here, a Phillips down there, a Phillips there, and then inside here you have two stars. You pop off this plastic plate by sticking a flat tip screwdriver in here, pop it off, there's a star back there, and then once you get this off, there's a star in there. And then once I get all that stuff off is where I picked up on the video. So good luck. Okay, today I'm going to replace the passenger side mirror of my son's 2009 Ford Focus, which he damaged backing out of the garage. So I had held it together with duct tape until I ordered the mirror. Watched some other videos on YouTube. Couldn't find one for a 2009. But I did find some guys that showed me how to remove the door panel, because in here there's 3 screws, one here, 10mm bolts, one here, one down inside there underneath this electrical plug to the mirror. So I can't seem to get this harness off, because to get it off you got to reach underneath it and unclip it before I can get to the other bolt. So I'm going to try and take off the door panel. I removed several screws. There's a plate behind the door handle here that comes off. This is a star head, T25 I believe. Then I popped off the cover that goes on this door here, just pops off. There's a star head in here, a star head in here. Pop off the window button, just unplug that. And then there's on the side of the door over here, tilt this down, there's a Phillips there, and then there's 2 Phillips screws down here, one here and one here. So now I'm going to pull up on the door panel after, of course, removing the screw-on door lock here. So I'm going to pause for that, get that off. Okay, I was able to pop off the door, started down at the bottom where the Phillips screwdriver hole is. Stuck a screwdriver underneath there, worked my way around, popped out the plastic pieces all the way around. Once I got all the sides done, lifted up the door panel off of the lock so I can get to this part here. I haven't fully removed the door panel. Something to do with the handle. I don't see how it pops through. So I'm going to leave that on. I can now access this, unplug it just like that. Then I'm going to take off this final bolt here, this bolt here, and remove the mirror. Okay, I've removed all 3 screws. I'm going to try and pull the mirror off, and there it is. So I put that on the floor. And I have the new mirror here, which I found on eBay. So I'm going to unwrap that, and then we'll install that. Okay, so I'm just going to try and do this one-handed. It's pretty simple. Insert that in there. Got the bolts sticking through on this side, so it's time to put those bolts back in. Okay, after the 3 bolts were tightened, it's just time to plug the harness back in. And before I put everything back together, I'm going to check the mirror, turn on the power, and see if it works. Okay, I checked the mirror works. So now it's time to piece this thing back together. Carefully, there's a wire harness that comes through here for the electric lock. Just got to make sure I feed that through. I'm going to pick it up, set it back down on the top, and snap in these bolts, these plastic knobs here where they go. So I'll do that right now. Let's see how this goes. Just be patient. Okay, I was able to put the door panel back on. It has to seat inside here. There's a well. This was the trickiest part. Sticking my finger in through here to make sure this came up through the hole. Then seated it down in there all the way around. So now it's time just to put the screws back in. There's the one that goes on the side here. Phillips here. And then there's a Phillips down here. Another Phillips here. There's a star that goes in here. A star that goes in here. There it is right there. A star that goes in there. Okay, I put the stars back in. One in there. And then one inside the door lock panel there. Put the Phillips screws back in. One here. Close that. Down at the bottom. There's two down there. And then the stars inside the handle here. Now I have to put the lock back on. A little lock cap. That just screws on. All in all, the job took about 20 minutes. Got 5 minutes of video here. Pop that up, make it a little bit easier. Still going, like you need to see this. The second thing I'm going to replace is this little plastic panel back in here. I popped it off by pushing it to the right with a flat tip screwdriver. So I'm just going to snap it back in there. Like that. That's done. Now to reconnect the wiring harness on this, on the lock kit. Let's see if I can do that. Hold on one second. Sorry, I needed two hands to do that, but that just this just pops back in here. Forward like that. Snap it down in there. Then grab the cover piece that goes over here. This just pulled right off. I used a little screwdriver, flat tip screwdriver. To take that off. Snap that back in. That's working. Now the last thing to put back on was the first thing I took off. There's this little cover here. It's just pressure. You just pull on it to take it off. So just gotta make sure you line those clips up and snap it in. So there you go. That should be it. Mirrors back on. This cap is a decorative piece, does not come with the mirror. I took it off my son's old one. I just got to snap it back on properly. So I'll do that, and hopefully this helped you. I'm sorry it wasn't the greatest quality, but if it helped, let me know.